The Avalanche have struck quickly, and there's still a relatively clean sheet of ice out there.
Yeah, it's early in the first period.
You know, I would like Colorado more if they wore them jerseys more often.
They said, yeah, we know we're in your barn.
The
We're going to
Nordique
come at you right
symbol.
away.
Moves the puck.
I mean logo.
Fires it on net. Turns it aside with the glove.
Wedgwood's off to a nice start here early in the frame, and this is really important. He needs some confidence as his game's lacked consistency. You've seen it in his save percentage, and you know that he needs to find a way to muster up some more confidence.
Colorado's got the puck. Sends a pass over. On-man rush. Puts it on net. Oh, what a save in front. The Bruins have a hold of it in the defensive zone. Saka's got it against the boards. Makes a move, and the puck hops away from him.
Zaka's got a lot of flash to his game, in particular with his hands and the ability to manipulate his opponent, but he gets caught on that one, and the puck dies on his stick.
Oh, and he gets a little nasty with that collision.
And that collision is going to create puck possession. You have to separate body from puck. Coaches love these plays, right? You're not the one that's necessarily going to gain possession.
Listen to Forrest they're doing on the ice.
And that plays offside. We got a face-off coming up.
There's always certain players that know when something needs to happen in a game. Listen, they're trailing in this one, and you have to be aware of how you can ignite your team. Well, that is a huge hit, and you can see just in the response that it elicits from the bench.
Puck scooped up by Girard. With possession along the wall. Quick shot! Oh, cuts it off the iron. Had the side of the net, but doesn't go.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of bad luck right here as the puck goes off the post and out. The good part is they still have the lead.
Taken along the wall by Girard. Boston's got possession here in the neutral zone. Takes the feed at center for the right wing. Too much congestion, blocks the shot. Just a little... Elias Lindholm buries it to the back of the net. Boston's no longer chasing the game after that goal, show.
Yeah, and it's tough, right, from behind the eight ball right away, and it can be difficult to be assertive or get your legs when that happens, but it feels like they found a rhythm here halfway through the period. One shift can change the landscape, and it looks like it has.
And they'll cover it up, forcing a stoppage in play.
Natchez continues to pad the stats on his point streak, and his underlying numbers look so good, James. I mean, his possession, the way he's hitting the net, his distribution, everything is on point.
The Avs win that offensive zone face-off. Oh, he'd like to have that one back as it goes off the side. Scores! And I think he put this in on his own.
He did, James, and this is so deflating when you put it in on your own, and you can just see the body language. He is not happy. Oh, that's a really tough goal, James. You can see the frustration on his face and the body language. Just thinks he lost track of it as it found the back of the net.
The Avs must be feeling good about their game right now, up by one here in the late goings of the first.
Well, in their practices, they've been working on getting shots through to the net. And
I really want to talk about why hockey isn't promoted in America.
Colorado's across the blue line.
You know, it's a Canadian sport. Yes, probably the majority of players are Canadian, which I would have to see a percentage on that, because with the amount of Russian, Swedish, Finnish, is that how you say Finland? People Finnish? I think it is. Finnish, Swedish, Russian, Canadian, American, Czechoslovakian, American, German. I know there's not too many German players. The only one I know is Leon Draisaitl. But And then, of course, there's a couple companies, couple countries I'm missing. But with all the Finnish, Switzerland, is Switzerland? Nah, there's not too many Swiss players, right? It's American, Canadian, Russian, Finland, Sweden, German, I just say American. I have to think that Canadians probably still make up, like if you were to do a percentage of each, I would imagine Canadian is still number one in most players, but I bet it ain't by a huge margin. Like,
I always feel like those next few shifts are critical because you know your opponent, they're either going to respond or they're not. If they don't respond and you're on your toes,
you know, like what, 36% or probably 36 to 42%, I'll say, are Canadian, which is super generous, you know, and then probably 15 to 20% are Russian, 30, well, if Canadian is, say, 36% of the NHL, American would have to be like 28% of the NHL. And then Russian would be like, like 22% or 17 to 22%. Then Finnish, German, and Swedish would round the rest of it up with like 10 to 12% or something. And then German like 2% or something, you know. But I just can't. So, and hockey is Canadians' baby, you know, it's their sport. Now, so if you want to argue, oh, well, it's a Canadian sport and that's why it's not represented in America, well, then how come all the teams are American? Quebec, who had so much pride in their team and was like the major French-speaking team, the French-Canadian, so it had cultural ties. It had, you know, good history. And even though Toronto's the capital, or I think it's the capital, isn't like Ottawa the capital? But even if Toronto's not the capital, it's the major city. It's the number one talked about team in the most major city in Toronto. It's the New York of Canada, you know what I mean?
Colorado's gained the line and into the zone. Here's a shot. Standing tall with the save.
I know Hartford isn't in Canada, but it was up there, close to Canada. When I was growing up, I thought the Whalers were a Canadian team, even though they weren't. But I don't know. If it's such a Canadian sport, you know, if it was reversed and There were only, because what is there, only
The Avalanche have
6?
the puck against the boards. And now he passes up to Landeskog. Oh, makes the save. That was a
I can't think offhand right off that, but
feeds it over to
let me see.
Hustonkinov.
Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver.
Takes the feed, moving in.
Toronto,
The Avs are across the line and
Ottawa,
into the offensive end.
Edmonton,
Turns it away on the slap shot. He was totally locked
Montreal.
in on that play. And he loses control here.
Oh, Montreal's the French-speaking one, right? I Quebec. Or was it
Bruins
both?
gain control of the puck.
But
And now he tries to get it across to Kiki. Taken by Middlestat.
so Edmonton, Montreal,
All alone. Oh, and that goes sideways.
Yeah, it's a tough look, James, and a missed opportunity.
Edmonton,
It's not often that you get in all alone. At the
Vancouver,
very least, you gotta make
Calgary,
the save.
Edmonton,
Here, Lane going to
Calgary,
the frame.
Vancouver,
Colorado's hanging on to this 3-2 lead.
Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal.
Boston's won the defensive zone draw. From his own end, he picks up the puck. Hard hit, frees up the puck. Shakes off the coverage. And that concludes the second period of play. Still one more period.
Trying to think
time.
by
See what
West and
happens in the
East
third.
Coast. So on the West Coast, I know it's Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver.
2 down. 1 to
Then
go.
on the East Coast, it's Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal.
And the puck is dropped.
So that's
We are underway
6.
here in the third. Well, Pounder, we've played more than 40 minutes now in this
And I'm
one.
forgetting
How do you view
something.
things?
Boston's behind in this game because they've mismanaged the puck change.
Forget
The
it.
coach is not going to be happy. They weren't ready right from the get-go at puck drop and really chasing the game all over the ice, forcing plays and giving up the puck way too easily.
The Bruins take possession here in the open ice. Made the stop on that play.
You know the goalie's dialed in when he redirects the puck to the corner.
Drives it to the crease. Score!
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Number 2, Pounder.
Yeah, he's been all
That was
over the
nasty.
puck tonight. He's feeling it. He's confident. You gotta
I
believe
knew I was
he's gonna be
scoring
looking
on
for
that.
Well, this is playing on your toes, the presence of mind to move the puck forward and fast. It's quick strike, even though it's a long bomb stretch
Bang.
pass.
That
Gets
was
it done.
nasty. That was so nasty. Pause. Front end. Back end. Bang. Or not even. Just the pause. Oh yeah, front and back end 5-hole.
The Avs jump out to a quick start here in period number 3, doubling up their lead.
And there was a different sense of urgency, wasn't it? And they get on the scoreboard, so now a 2-goal lead, and that's quite a deficit for their opponent. You can see that they're just deflated right now.
And off the draw, they take the puck. The Avs play it along the wing. And skilled use of the stick to poke the puck away. Here's a short pass to
Slings,
Robinson.
wheels,
Picked up along the boards by Corrales.
slings,
And now
wheels,
it's grabbed by Manson. Gaining momentum
Canucks.
up along the side. And he puts that one aside with ease.
slings,
Moves it quickly over
wheels,
to Lindholm.
Canucks,
Taken along the wall by Corrales.
Senators,
Arvidsson's moving the puck
Maple
through his
Leafs,
own zone.
Canadians.
Levels him with the hit. Colorado's got the puck against the boards. Loses possession.
God, I saved
Takes a
him.
little hit. A shot. Oh, and he somehow got a little piece of it, and it stays out of the net. Scores! And that's 3 unanswered goals. And as my mom likes to say, they're cooking
Yeah,
with
I am
gas.
scoring.
They're cooking with gas, and you can expect that they have put their opponents on their heels. This is a team that knows that they have worn their opponent down. Now they got to keep the pedal to the metal.
The Avs are in the home stretch of this one here in
I
the
think
third
there's
period
7
and lead by
teams,
a
not
wide
6.
Puck grab by
I
Janot.
can't think of the other
Quick
2.
feed to Hustonkinov. Colorado's got control of it now from their own end. Into the offensive zone. Can't get
Yeah,
it to
so
go.
even if
And
it's
he uses
7
the
or
breeze
6,
to
whatever,
disrupt the play.
whatever it is, it's either 7 or
Brown's got
6,
it on the
right?
offensive end.
If it's such a Canadian sport,
Play to pick off the pass.
why are all the teams in
Here's a
America?
chance on the attack. Puts a little mustard on the hit to knock the puck
And you could say the tax thing, the money, that's why Canadian players like to play for American teams because they make more money. All the weird rules in Canada, but I would think Canadian pride would, because they're so rich as hell, so I think Canadian pride would outdo that. But I just don't.
Man, has he ever been dangerous tonight? He's got 2 goals and he's looking for his 3rd.
I would still think they would want more of their teams to be in Canada than in America. Especially for Canada's hatred for America. How does Nate and Cale, especially after losing the gold medal, the Olympics, to Americans, how do they feel about playing for a team that was robbed out of Canada? And from the story I know about it, it wasn't the NHL's fault or America's fault. It was something to do with the stadium. He knows I got a hattie. It was like something to do with the
Avs are going to want to bring this big lead home late
in the
3rd.
The owner and the mayor not coming to terms on the city paying for the new arena, but they didn't have enough fan base, or they had a strong fan base, but not enough population to go to the games or something like that. So how does Cale and Nate feel about losing the Olympics and then coming back to a team that used to be Canadian and playing for America? Or do they not care at all because of the money they make? I don't know. But as an American, you'd think I would want an American team to win, but I've been praying for the Oilers to win all these seasons, and or the Maple Leafs, or any of them, except the Canadians. I'm not really a Canadians fan, but the rest of them, I really want them to win a Stanley Cup. This many years, 34 now, 35, whatever it is, without a cup. Even though it really doesn't make sense, because most of the players winning on these American teams are, Canadian.